Alright everyone, today we're going to be doing a 30-minute hips and hamstrings flow. For today's session you'll need a strap or something similar like a belt or a scarf or even a jumper will do. So go and grab that now. You can either pause the video or you can go and grab it while I'm chatting. So with hips, the hips can get really tight and tense if you're feeling stressed. They can also feel tight and tense if you're sitting at a laptop all day or if you're sitting at a desk all day. So we're going to be working on opening up the joints, lubricating the joints and just finding some space here, releasing tension and baggage. We're also going to be focusing on lengthening up the hamstrings. So the hamstrings can get pretty tight if you're doing a lot of running or if you're doing a lot of cycling, or again, if you're just sitting at home at a desk all day, those muscles can get tight. So we're going to work on lengthening the muscle tissue. So let's get started. We're going to start lying down on the back. So make your way down to the floor. Once you've got your strap, have your strap handy next to you. I'm just going to bring the knees into the chest for a few moments. Give the knees a gentle sway from side to side. And just get yourself into this space. So if there's some distraction around you, that's fine. If you're at home, which you most likely are, then there will be some distractions. But just allow yourself now to let go of anything that's happening around you and just focus in on the sensations of your body. Moving the knees from side to side, really massaging out the lower back. And then just release your fingers from away from each other and just lengthen your legs slightly so they're not completely long, they've still got quite a deep bend in them. So I want you to take your hands behind your thighs and just massage your thighs. So you're massaging the hamstrings. Just give them a little warm up. Maybe you want to go around to the sides, round to the back. Good, now taking the left foot to the ground, just grab your strap or whatever you're using. Take the strap around the ball of the right foot and extend the right leg away from you. So you're going to go until the leg is actually completely straight. You can have a slight bend in that knee just so it's not overextended. But I want you to go to a straight position of the leg. So for some that might be here, you might already start to feel the stretch in the hamstrings. For some it might be up here. So just go to a place where you just start to feel just the beginning of a stretch. Then once you feel that beginning of the stretch, I want you to activate the leg. So I want you to flex the right foot, pointing the right toes back towards your face, and maybe you'll already start to feel a stretch in your hamstrings, or I actually feel it in the back of my knee and my calf. Just depends on where you're tight, so everybody is different. Let your shoulders relax down. Maybe you want to take a little bit more grip through the hands by wrapping the strap around the backs of the hands and then back into the palm. And then you're going to press the heel up towards the ceiling. And you're going to resist that press by pulling down through the strap. Now you're going to take a long breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to release the effort and just draw that leg a millimeter close. Really gentle. So remember, we haven't warmed up completely yet. So just take this nice and easy. Pressing the heel up towards the ceiling. Press. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, just release and draw that leg a millimeter closer. Really try to relax the muscle at the back of the leg. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale to press. And exhale to release. Maybe it draws just another millimeter closer. And then release the leg down. Just bending up the knee, taking the sole of the right foot to the ground. And then we'll take it to the other side. So left leg comes up, wrap the strap around the ball of the left foot, and then lengthen the leg again until you just start to feel just the beginning of a stretch. So it might be down here, it might be up here, and if you want to, you can take a little bit of more grip through the hands by wrapping the strap around the backs of the hands and into the palm. Now flexing the left toes so you can start to feel a deeper stretch. Press the heel up towards the ceiling and resist with the strap, making sure your shoulders stay nice and heavy and your neck stays nice and soft as well. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, you're just drawing that leg a millimeter closer towards you. So don't worry if it's not a big movement. Take an inhale to press and resist. really activating the left leg. And then exhale, release the effort, draw the leg a millimeter closer. Last time, inhale to press. Relax your jaw and exhale to draw that leg just a little bit closer. Well done, guys. Releasing the strap now, just taking it off to one side and taking the knees now from side to side, just loosening up any tension in the lower back. Good, now bring your knees back into your chest, part the legs, take your hands onto the front of your ankles, draw your knees out to the side, and like Charlie Chaplin feet, draw your heels close towards your groin. So the feet are still flexed, toes are pointing out, but your heels are coming together and towards your groin, and your knees are pointing out to the side. Now you can either stay here if you already start to feel a stretch, or you can start to come into a happy baby pose, so heels up towards the ceiling. You can use your elbows to help guide your knees out to the side if you'd like. And you might even want to start to take your first two fingers around the big toes, coming into a deeper happy baby. But for this, we're stretching out the hips, so try not to let this happen with your lower back. Try to keep the lower back down, and if your lower back starts to lift away from the floor, just come back to a more modified variation. Nice one, guys, and if you want any movement in this position, then feel free to do it. Take a long breath in. And as you exhale, release. Take your hands behind your thighs and rock your body forwards and back. We're going to revisit both of those poses. So just take yourself forwards and back a couple more times. Lovely, and then bring yourself to a cross-legged, so you're going to have the right leg in front. Keeping yourself in cross legs, take the hands onto the front of the knees and inhale to lift the heart and chest. And as you exhale, keeping that length through the spine, almost like you're coming into a back bend, you're going to reach the chest forwards, forwards, forwards. And then when you can't go any further, you're going to release the back and let it round. And you're going to hold here for 3 breaths. Last breath. Good. As you inhale, walking the hands back. Now taking the hands to the floor behind you, pointing the fingers towards your bum. Take your feet to hip width apart. Lift your hips up towards the ceiling and really press down through the heels. Just the heels. Then you're going to lower the pelvis down towards the ground and then lift the hips back up. We're going to do that 3 more times, lowering the hips. Press the hips back up. Really think about pressing through the heels because I want you to warm up the hamstrings. Pressing up and bring it back down. Last one, pressing up and bring it back down. Cross the left leg over the right. Take the hands in front of the knees. Inhale to lift the heart and chest, coming into that little back bend. And exhale, you're folding forwards, keeping that back bend as far as you can go until you release the body down over the legs, round through the spine, and take 3 breaths. Lovely, walking the hands back, coming back to that reverse tabletop position again, fingers pressing towards your pelvis. Lifting the hips up and bringing the hips back down. Pressing down through the heels, lifting the hips up, bringing the pelvis back down. 3 more times. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Crossing the legs over, doesn't matter which leg goes in front. Take the hands forwards and step it back into a plank pose. I want to try to build a little bit more heat into the body before we go into some deeper hamstring stretches. So inhale deeply through your nose. Exhale, push the air out the mouth. Inhale deeply through the nose. Exhale, push the air out the mouth. Last one, inhale deeply through the nose. Exhale, push the air out the mouth. Lower your knees to the ground now, lower your chest. Lift the chest forwards into baby cobra and press your toes down. And exhale, lift the hips up and back into a downward facing dog. Now part your feet just a little, so they're a little bit wider than your usual downward facing dog. Now bend your right knee, lengthen your left. Press the belly back towards the thighs. Then bend your left knee, lengthen your right. Press the belly back to the thighs. Twice more like that. Once more on each side. Good, and then walking your feet so they're about hip width apart or slightly wider if that feels more comfortable in your body. Let your head hang, bend your knees, find length through your spine, and then lift your heels away from the ground. Then send your heels down towards the ground, finding length through the backs of the legs. Once more like that, bending the knees, lifting the heels away from the floor, and then taking the heels back down to the ground. Left foot comes to center line of mat. Inhale, right heel lifts up to a three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your right knee to your nose. Pause there for a moment, hover. Inhale, right heel lifts up, three-legged dog. We're going to hold it here, 3 pulses. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, step your right foot in between your hands. Lower your left knee to the ground and inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, take the hands down to the floor. Inhale, lift the chest forwards. Exhale, send the pelvis back towards the left heel. Lengthen up the right leg as much as feels comfortable. Then lunge back into your right leg. Once more like that, sending the hips back, lengthening the right leg. Bringing the weight forwards. Lifting the arms back up towards the ceiling, then taking your right hand onto your left wrist. Inhale to lift the left wrist up and stretch over towards the right hand side. Take a deep breath in. Long breath out, sink the hips just a little deeper, deep breath in. Exhale, take your hands to the ground, step your left foot up to join the right at the top of the mat. Inhale as you lengthen, halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, fold yourself forwards. Either keep the legs long or bend the knees so you can take your left hand either to the floor or to a brick if you have one. As you inhale, lengthen up your right leg, bend your left knee and take your right arm up towards the ceiling. Take a long breath in. Exhale, take your right hand to the ground, bend both knees if you need to. Inhale, left arm lifts up, lengthen left leg, right knee bends. Exhale, take the left hand back down. Once more each side, inhale, lengthen the right leg, right arm lifts up. Exhale, bend both knees. Inhale, left leg lengthens, the left arm lifts up. Exhale, bend both knees. Inhale as you lengthen both of the arms, lifting the chest forwards, and exhale as you fold. Inhale as you bring the arms all the way up to standing, reach high, and exhale, bring your hands through your heart center. Take a deep breath in, press down through your heels and the balls of your feet. Exhale to release the arms down beside the body. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, fold yourself forwards, Uttanasana. Bringing the weight into the balls of the feet. Now inhale as you lengthen, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the palms, either step or jump it back into your chaturanga. Knees, chest if you want. Inhale as you lift up into baby cobra or up dog. And exhale as you take it up and back into your downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Right foot comes to center line of mat. Inhale, left leg lifts up to a three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your left knee to your nose. Pause there for a moment, hover. Inhale, left heel lifts up, three-legged dog. Hold it here. 3 pulses. 3, 2, 1. Then step the left foot in between the hands. Lower the right knee to the ground. Inhale, the arms reach up towards the ceiling. Exhale, take the hands back down to the floor. And then send your pelvis back towards your right ankle, lengthening your left leg, flexing your left toes. Lunging back into the left leg, lifting the chest forwards. Exhale, take it back into that left leg stretch. Bringing the weight forwards, bringing the arms all the way up. This time you're taking your left hand onto your right wrist. Inhale to lift the right wrist up, and exhale to take a stretch over towards the left hand side. Now keep sending your pelvis down towards your left ankle as you keep the right arm lifting up. Really stretch out the front of that right hip into the psoas muscle, your hip flexors. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, take the hands down to the floor, step the right foot up to the top of the mat. Lengthen through the spine, halfway lift flat back. Exhale, fold yourself forwards. This time we're going to take the first 2 fingers around the big toes. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to fold yourself even further forwards. Bring the weight onto the balls of the feet so you feel like you're squashing your fingers with your toes. Let your head hang heavy and really see if you can lift the sit bones up towards the ceiling. Keep lengthening through the lower back, engaging through your core, relaxing your jaw and taking one more breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release the feet, bend the knees, bring yourself up into your Uttanasana chair pose. Bring your hands through your heart center. Keep the pelvis drawing back. Make sure you can see your toes beyond your knees, so just have a look down towards them. Make sure your knees are either pointing towards your little toes, or if your feet are together, they're squeezing in. We're going to do 3 pulses here. 3, 2, 1. Then we're going to rise up onto the balls of the feet, lengthen the legs, squeeze the glutes, lift the fingers high. Exhale as you fold yourself forwards, heels come to the ground, but the weight is drawing forwards into the balls of the feet. Inhale as you lengthen. Exhale, press the hands down, step or jump it back into your chaturanga. Inhale to lift up and lengthen. Exhale to take it up and back into your downward facing dog. 1 breath in, 1 breath out. Left foot comes to center line of mat again. Inhale, the right heel lifts up towards the ceiling, 3-legged dog. This time you come onto the ball of the left foot, really split the legs. Exhale, your right knee comes over to your left elbow. Inhale, take the right heel back up into 3-legged dog. This time bend your right knee and stack your right hip on top of the left by squeezing into the right glutes. So don't think about just opening up through the hips and just letting your spine go wiggly. I really want you to think about squeezing into the right glutes. That right heel squeezes into the left bum cheek, and that left knee stays pointing towards your face. You're not letting it drop in. Keep the left heel grounded down towards the ground. Right knee points up towards the ceiling. Take a long breath in. And exhale, you're bringing your right knee to your nose and stepping your right foot in between the hands. This time you're going to sway the hips forwards and back, keeping that left leg long. If you want to have a little lengthen through the right leg as you swing, you can. Oh, I had a nice big crack then. That was a nice little release. Good, guys. Now we're going to hold in this shape, lunging forward, squeezing into your inner thighs. So really feel like zipping the inner thighs together. Press down through your feet, lift the arms up into your high lunge. Slight bend in the left knee if you like to, and slight deeper bend in your right knee. Take a deep breath in, a long breath out. Deep breath in, long breath out. One more like that, deep breath in, long breath out. See if you can lunge a little deeper into that right leg. And then slowly lower the left heel to the ground to open yourself out into your warrior 2. Find length through both arms, take a breath in. And exhale, right elbow to right thigh, left arm reaches over the head. Either hold it here or take it to the bind. Left arm comes behind the back, right arm goes underneath right leg, and you rotate to look over that left shoulder. If this is enough for you, stay exactly as you are, just thinking about opening up that right hip. Take another long breath in, another long breath out. As you inhale, bring yourself all the way up into your warrior 2. Lengthen your right leg, lift your right arm up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in. Exhale, Trikonasana, coming down, taking the right hand to the inside of the right shin. Left fingertips lift up, taking breaths in and out slowly. Last breath in. Exhale, windmill hands down to frame the front foot, so bending into your right knee, and come onto the ball of that left leg. Now step the left foot slightly further towards your right, so you're just shortening your stance. Take it slightly out to the left and then take your left heel to the ground so the foot is at a 45-degree angle. You can have a deep bend in that right knee if you need it, or you can come onto bricks. Take an inhale to lengthen and exhale to fold over that right leg. Good, inner thighs are still drawing together and that right hip is drawing back. Maybe you want to start to lift the hands away from the ground and fly. Maybe interlace your fingers behind your back. Maybe taking the hands behind your left leg. Oh, I can't do it that way. Take your hands behind your left leg and then fold yourself forwards. One more breath in. And as you exhale, bend into your right knee, hands press down, left foot steps to the back of the mat. Now you're going to peel the right foot away from the floor and lower the right shin to the ground for Pigeon Pose, but we're not going to come all the way down into Sleeping Pigeon. We're going to make this active. So what I want you to do is first just take your left knee to the ground, then look back towards your right foot and see if you can flex that right foot. Make sure your right knee stays happy here, so you might need to bring it in or take it further out. Now you're going to press that right shin to the ground. Now you're going to lift the chest up towards the ceiling, keeping that pressure, maybe starting to take the hands away from the ground. Pressing down through that right shin, drawing left hip forwards, right hip back. One more breath in. Exhale, release the hands down to the ground. Well done. Stepping your right foot back into plank pose. Either take it through your vinyasa or a modified vinyasa, or just take it straight back into your downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. Right foot comes to center line of mat, left leg lift up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your left knee over to your right elbow twist. Inhale, left heel lifts up, three-legged dog. Now bend up your left knee, stack your left hip on top of right again. We're using a squeezing sensation through the left glutes and the left heel squeezing towards your right bum cheek rather than just opening out through the spine. So squeezing in, making this really strong, right knee pointing towards your face. Squeeze, 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 left knee lifts up towards the ceiling. Keep it going. Take another breath in. And as you exhale, use your core to step your left foot in between your hands. Now starting to sway the hips forwards and back. Maybe you want to start get a little bit of lengthening through that left leg. Good, and then we're going to hold in this lunge shape. Squeeze in the thighs together, really press down through your feet and lift the arms up towards the ceiling. Holding breath in and breath out. Slight bend in the right knee if you need it. Breath in, breath out. Last one. With the next exhale, see if you can lower your left knee just a little. And then right heel lowers to the ground to come into your warrior two. Deep breath in. Exhale, left elbow comes onto left thigh. Right arm reaches over and up towards the front of the room. You can either stay here again or you can take your right arm behind your back, come into your bind. Just make sure you're feeling happy in both your hips and your spine. But if it feels more encouraging for you and more compassionate for you, then just hold it here with the elbow on the knee. One more breath in. And use the exhale to bring yourself back up into warrior two. Then inhale, lengthen the left leg, lift the left arm up. Take an exhale. And then an inhale. And as you exhale, come down into your triangle. So taking left hand to inside of left shin. Right arm reaches up, really draw that left hip back. Relaxing your jaw. Power through the right fingertips, long breath in. And exhale, bend into your left knee. Take your hands down to frame your left foot. Come onto the ball of your right foot and then step your right foot slightly further in towards your left. Just shortening your stance again. Then slightly out towards the right hand side and then turn it to a 45-degree angle so the right heel can come to the ground. Again, you might have the left knee quite bent, otherwise you can come onto bricks. Inhale as you lengthen. Exhale as you fold yourself forwards. And again, you can hold here, thinking about drawing left hip back, right hip forwards. You can start to hover your hands away from the ground. Maybe take your arms behind your back and interlace your fingers, or take them behind your right leg. Folding over the leg, finding strength around flexibility. Or even finding flexibility around strength. Take a breath in. And a breath out to bend into your left knee. Hands come to the ground, right foot steps back to the back of the mat. Left knee comes into chest for a moment. And then take your left shin to the ground. Now taking your right knee to the floor, look back towards your left foot and flex your left foot. So you can almost feel like the blade of the left foot is connected to the ground. Then press the shin into the floor. Make sure you're feeling strong and happy. And lifting your chest up, maybe start to lift the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Really press down through that left leg. Breathing in, breathing out. Last breath in. And exhale, take the hands to the floor. Step your left foot back into plank. Take it through your vinyasa flow if you want. Or take it through a modified vinyasa. Or just take it straight back into your downward facing dog. Long breath in. Long breath out. Looking forward towards the fingertips, bend the knees, step or jump to seated. Bring yourself down onto your bum. You're going to turn the knees out to the side, heels together, and you can take your hands onto your feet if they reach, and turn your feet out like a little book so you can see the soles of your feet. If you're sinking quite far back into your lower back, my advice is to take your hands behind you and just work on finding length through the spine. So trying to find that tilt of the pelvis, like your pubic bone is dropping down and your tailbone is almost lifting up. Coming to here. Or if you're folding forwards, taking the elbows into the inner thighs and then reaching the chest beyond the feet. Allow yourself to breathe slowly again. Let go of any tension in your neck. Breathing in, breathing out, releasing yourself forwards, flopping and rounding the spine. And using the inhale to bring yourself back up. Good, we're taking a forward fold now. My nemesis. I really don't like this forward fold, but it is really good for you. So you can either have your feet together or you can have your feet slightly wider. You're going to take an inhale to lengthen and an exhale to walk your hands closer towards your feet or your ankles or even your shins, or maybe the floor beside your legs. Just keep folding yourself forwards, reaching yourself towards your shins. If you've got the strap handy, you can use your strap to help guide you down a little bit closer. Trying to keep the spine nice and long. Breathe through it. Take another breath in. And as you exhale, release. Well done. Bringing yourself down to the ground again. Rolling yourself down. Good. If you just need a little bit of a counter pose from that forward fold, then take the feet to the ground. Either come into your half wheel or come into your full wheel. Just releasing that all out. And then slowly lowering yourself down to the ground. Just taking a moment just to be here, to be still. Nice one, everyone. Bringing your knees in towards your chest, turning your feet up to the side, revisiting the two stretches that we did at the beginning of the session. Heels together, knees out to the side, or happy baby, any variation that suits you. And maybe this time you want to find a little bit of movement. Maybe you're swaying your legs from side to side. Maybe you're lengthening one and then the other. And then taking the feet down to the floor once you feel like you're even on both sides. Take your strap again, wrap it around the ball of your right foot, lengthen your leg away. Doing the exact same thing that we did right at the beginning, maybe now you've got a little bit more space to go. So inhale to press, exhale to draw it a little bit closer. Inhale to press away. Inhale to draw a little bit closer. Inhale to press away. Exhale to draw a little bit closer. And then release that leg. Take it to the other side. Lengthen the leg away from you. Remember, it doesn't have to be completely straight or up. Take an inhale to press away. Really activate the left leg. Exhale to release the effort. Draw it closer. Inhale to press away. Exhale to release the effort. Draw the leg a bit closer. Inhale to press away. Exhale to release. Draw it a little bit closer. And then release the leg down. Well done, everyone. Taking the legs forwards. Taking any extra final movements that you need and coming down into your Shavasana. Just taking some time to lie in stillness with the sensations around your hips and around your legs. Noticing now how you feel, if there are any shifts in your body, in your mind. Maybe there's just a shift in how you feel overall. Allow your legs to feel heavier and your hips to feel really soft. And imagine the tension that you've been building up over the past week or so. Feel all of that drain away. Allow your spine to feel heavy and your chest to feel soft. Feel a lengthening through the back of the neck and a weight at the back of the head. Lie here for as long as you'd like, following your breath. When you're ready, bring yourself up to a comfortable seat, taking yourself either rocking forwards and back or taking yourself off to one side and then coming up to seated. Resting the hands on the knees, closing the eyes down again if they opened. Letting your hands rise up to heart center, pressing the palms together. Taking a moment here to thank your body and your mind for bringing you through practice today. Always feeling a deep sense of gratitude. Feeling that sense of gratitude even if you haven't moved. Thanking your body for taking you around. Thanking your mind for being there for you. Feel that gratitude down deep in your belly. Now let the thumbs rise up to the third eye, the space in between your eyebrows. Let your chin bow down towards your chest. And thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. Any questions, please let me know. Any feedback, please let me know. And any requests, please let me know. Have a great day or evening, and I'll see you here again soon. Take care, guys.